Good morning, I'm Peter and this is Markets in a Minute. Okay, we've had a slightly better day for risk assets overnight, although they're pretty small moves really in the context of what we've seen. So currently the US Dow and the US S&P indexes are up between 1 and 2% as we've seen a small risk on happen overnight. Probably oil has been the larger beneficiary. It's up around 8% and so West Texas this morning's trading at around about $34 a barrel. The other move, which reflects that risk-on theme, we've seen US bond yields higher, sort of 7 to 12 basis points. If we have a look at the US 10-year, that's up 12 basis points, currently at 0.66. So just putting that in context, it's still a very low yield, and in fact that's fallen by 126 basis points since the start of this year. In other news overnight, we've seen, I guess, a bit of stimulus packages start to get announced. So we've sort of had a bit of monetary policy stimulus. Now we're sort of looking at fiscal stimulus. Trump has made some details still a little bit light just at the moment, but there's talk of a cut to the payroll tax. There's also support for move and support for the airline and the cruise industries. The US S&P 500 airline index is off 30%. In this recent move, so it sort of gives some context of where those stocks are trading. In other news around the virus itself, Italy shut down the entire country yesterday. So what does that mean in practice? Well, it basically means you can't go to school or university. Work remotely is preferred. Shopping, you can shop for food and medicines, but apart from that, you can't go on holiday, you can't get married, you can't really travel. So it's a pretty restrictive type of approach that they have brought in across the entire country. So that just shows how concerned they are. The Italian stock market was off again last night by 3.5%, and that's around about 27% lower in a 1 month period. So still huge moves. Finally, on the currencies, it's really been a US dollar story overnight, so that reflects that slightly risk-on theme. Kiwi's roughly a big figure lower against the US at 62.5, so around about 100 points lower. And if I just look at year-to-date returns, the Kiwi is 12% lower against the yen, 11% lower against the Swiss franc. We're around 9% lower against the euro and the Danish krona. The only currencies that were sort of outperforming are the Brazilian real and South African rand. So best of luck out there, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.